Angolo Bronzino, portrait of a young man as Saint Sebastian. Bro Bronzino, as his friends would call him. Bronzino was tutored by Palermo, who was better known as Jacopo da Palermo. He was an Italian mannerist, painter, and portraitist from the Florentine school. His personal touch is how he made people and objects as if they floated in an uncertain environment. Now, my favorite portrait from Bro would have to be Via de Messini, 1545. The main reason is the artist makes this young lady look like a cartoon. Now, why I chose this portrait of Saint Sebastian today is I think most people miss the meaning of the portrait. Can you see the arrow in his ribs? He had a secret that felt like an arrow in the ribs. The pain, the suffering, not being able to tell nobody. This is the only way he could express it, through his paintings. Now off to Spoonie with more history on Mr. Bro.
Now on to the story. Grab some popcorn. Nano. Agnolo di Cosimo, usually known as Bronzino, or Angolo Bronzino, was a Florentine mannerist painter. His sobriquet, Bronzino, in all probability refers to his relatively dark skin. He lived all his life in Florence, and from his late 30s was kept busy as the court painter of Cosimo I de' Medici, Grand Duke of Tuscany. He was mainly a portraitist but also painted many religious subjects, and a few allegorical subjects, which include what is probably his best-known work, Venus, Cupid, Folly, and Time, circa 1544-45, now in London. Many portraits of the Medicis exist in several versions with varying degrees of participation by Bronzino himself, as Cosimo was a pioneer of the copied portrait sent as a diplomatic gift. He trained with Palermo, the leading Florentine painter of the first generation of Mannerism, and his style was greatly influenced by him, but his elegant and somewhat elongated figures always appear calm and somewhat reserved, lacking the agitation and emotion of those by his teacher. They have often been found cold and artificial, and his reputation suffered from the general critical disfavor attached to Mannerism in the 19th and early 20th centuries. Recent decades have been more appreciative of his art. Yes, I do. Who better the Spoonie? Nobody.
Welcome back. Check out the portrait of Nanu Morgante. That will make you laugh. I'm going to insert the portrait of a young man as Saint Sebastian into 3 different AI generators. First one, Da Vinci. Second one, Wonder. Third one, Irmo. After Spoonie tells you the history of this portrait, I'll give you my favorite AI generated portrait and the reason why, as well as the name. Nanner.
Glocchi Tepi, Agnolo di Cosimo di Mariano Torri, known as Bronzino, was one of the leading artists of Florentine Mannerism. This painting depicting Saint Sebastian, a martyr killed by arrows, is a good example of how depictions of the saint evolve towards physical embellishment. Iconographically speaking, Bronzino's Saint Sebastian belongs to a devotional type found chiefly in northern and central Italy, in which the saint is depicted half-length and naked or wearing a loincloth, interceding for the plague-stricken. Significantly, Florence was ravaged by plague between 1529 and 1530, and there is speculation whether this work may have been commissioned as an expression of gratitude when the outbreak died out. Bronzino's picture, however, was painted to be shown privately in the homes of the nobility, who, like the artists of the period, practiced and cultivated humanistic and Neoplatonic ideals. Works of this kind gave shape to the homoerotic interpretation of the Renaissance Saint Sebastian focused on his physical splendor. The Renaissance biographer Giorgio Vasari described Bronzino and his master Palermo as inseparable, and many scholars point out that although Palermo adopted Bronzino, a practice that was not unusual among painters and apprentices, their relationship was much more than one of filial love. Bronzino, who lived with his master for years, benefiting from his trust and working in his studio, also had a poetic side and dedicated heartfelt sonnets to Palermo when he died in 1557, calling him a father and friend. Palermo referred to him with pet names such as Bro or Bronzo in his private diary. In 1552, a few years before Palermo passed away, Bronzino in turn adopted one of his own pupils, Alessandro Alari, showing that the system of artistic apprenticeship was also an outlet for homosocial affection, as we also find in the case of Donatello, who, according to spiteful tongues, chose his apprentices for their beauty, or Cellini, who in 1557 was accused of sodomy for being caught with his assistant, Fernando de Montepulciano, in bed as if he were his wife. We present today's work, thanks to the Museo Nacional Tyson Bornemis in Madrid. Happy holidays, Nano Nano.
Mr. Bro was a very talented and loved person. Too bad he didn't have the opportunities people have today. Time for my favorite AI portrait, which is the one running above. I named Looking Towards Passion. The reason for the name is from the look in his eye, which makes me think he was on a mission, a man on a mission that has seen his path in life. The object in his hand reminds me of a bow, but not from an arrow, but from a violin. I ponder, maybe his mission is to bring some joy or peace to people in need, no matter the course of action that is needed. That's been Chef Nobby with your Moment in History, Art Edition. Enjoy the rest of your day. Nano, nano.